Welcome to My Spoonie Sisters, featuring stories from special guests dedicated to empowering those with chronic illness. Our goal? To connect people and provide the support and tools they need to live a better life. For those with chronic illness, our energy levels just fade faster. We must be more purposeful with the spoons allotted to us. So grab your coffee or tea, sister, and tune in as My Spoonie Sisters share stories of living with chronic illness. Hi, My Spoonie Sisters. Welcome to another episode of My Spoonie Sisters with me, Gracefully Jen, and
Linnea.
So we are here to provide you with support, information, inspiration for living your best life despite the challenges of chronic illness. How are you today, Linnea?
Doing good. I'm a little slower than I have been, but that's okay.
I think we both are.
Yeah.
But I think that's why we like to chat so much.
Yes. We pick each other up.
Absolutely. Every chance we can. I almost said every day, but no, every chance we can.
Yes. It's every chance.
So today we have a particularly important topic to discuss: managing the stress that often accompanies rheumatoid arthritis. So living with this autoimmune condition can be challenging.
Say the least.
Yeah, both physically and mentally. And we understand the importance of addressing the stress that comes with it. So in today's episode, we're going to share 5 valuable tips to help you better handle rheumatoid arthritis and stress.
Oh, we need that.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's dive into tip number 1. It's educate yourself. So our first tip is to empower yourself through knowledge. Understanding your condition, the treatment options, and what to expect can greatly reduce the stress that often comes with the unknown. So take the time to educate yourself about rheumatoid arthritis, what its symptoms are, and the available treatments, which treatments are constantly changing, right?
Exactly.
So you want to do this by being informed so you'll feel more in control of your health journey. So do you feel like you've done this? Have you educated yourself, Linnea?
Yes. When I was diagnosed, there wasn't as much internet. There wasn't the social media, but like magazines, books, anything I could get a hold of to try and understand what the doctor just told me was very beneficial to myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me in the beginning, I just Googled.
Yeah.
And
everything.
And we always call it Dr. Google, ha ha ha.
Yes. Yeah.
But really that's what I felt like I had. And now I just feel so much more empowered because we have so many more people that we know we can talk to and so many more resources. Like we have Stefanie, the Rheumatoid Arthritis Coach.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
more people getting out there.
Exactly. And so the more of that we have in our community, the better. But some people don't even know about these resources.
No.
And so it's so important that we get the information out there and let people know that these resources are available to them.
Yes, I absolutely agree, because there was a time there wasn't enough resources, and there's people that don't know how to find it. And I think they have like social media, which is where we come in, because we can share those resources and they're going, oh, I can find out more, So I think it's great that we personally share those types of things.
I think it's incredibly important. I could not agree with you more. And so I mentioned Stefanie, the Rheumatoid Arthritis Coach. Do you have another one that you can think of?
Like just a coach, not off the top of my hand.
Even just a person that you follow and look up to.
Well, besides you, I make it count. I love her daily
doses.
I had a brain fog there, what it was called. Her daily doses are so much information, but she does it in a way that you can understand it. And you're going,
Exactly.
I've had so many aha moments from her daily doses. Like, oh, that makes more sense now why XYZ is happening. So I would
Yeah,
say she's one of my top ones that I watch.
I definitely agree with you. And I will make sure I link both of them in this.
Yes, do. Yeah.
Don't let me forget. But so that's Stefanie, the rheumatoid arthritis coach, and Dani from Make It Count for Dani. And don't forget, she's got those amazing daily dose of Dani.
Oh, yes. Check them out.
All right. So tip 2 would be to build a support system. Rheumatoid arthritis can be isolating, and the emotional toll it can take can be very overwhelming. So that's why our second tip is to build a strong support system. Connect with friends and family who are understanding and compassionate. Consider joining online or in-person support groups where you can share experiences and strategies for managing stress. You don't have to go through this journey alone. Okay, so how do you feel like you've done with tip number 2, building a support system?
At first I didn't have that. I didn't realize how important it was until I got it. Like, having support of others that have the same disease. And maybe our diseases are hitting us differently and hits different joints, but we understand the process. We're still going through the same thing. We're still fighting. And having that makes it so much easier for me to accept my diagnosis, is having that support system.
So have you been in any kind of support groups at all?
I was in one. It was an art, I can't even think of it now. On Facebook page, I'm in one over there, and it got very big, and it started lose. You know how it is. But I still look at their stuff. I still see, but that helped me understand my disease better. And it also gave me people that I could vent to and say, why is this happening? And they tell you, you're okay. You're not alone. You're not doing this by yourself.
Exactly.
And the Spoonie Sisters on Instagram, my Spoonie Sisters on the Instagram. I love that group.
Well, and I think I'm in the same one on Facebook that you're in.
Yeah.
And exactly, when it starts to get into the thousands, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so the ones that I have been in is I used to do one with, there's a podcast called My Immune System Hates Me. She no longer is taking new
members.
People. I can't even think of how I'm trying to word this. She's not doing interviews anymore, but her podcast is still up there. And so I do recommend people listen to it because it's really good. And I don't know. Are you on that podcast? Did she interview you?
I don't think so.
Okay. I know I did, and a couple other people did. But
what was it again? I'm going to write that down.
My Immune System Hates Me, and that's with Chelsea out of New York City.
I do have that one on my podcast.
Yeah, and it's a great listen. And there's all kinds of, it's all over the place for different kinds of topics and people that she interviewed, and it's awesome. And I love hearing stories completely not related to my own because it fascinates me.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a weird, sick and twisted way. I don't thrive on people's pain, but it makes me better understand them. And I love that.
Yes. I agree. The more we learn about the other diseases, we can sympathize a little better. We can understand, we can tell them we get it. We might not understand it all, but we understand, if that makes sense.
Exactly. And, it was sad because she was retiring the podcast because she was getting into dancing again and going back to further her education. And she's also she helps teach kids in a kids program. And
she's just busy life.
She has a big, amazing life in New York City that I am so incredibly jealous of because that's amazing. But I didn't want it to end there, and that's why I started the podcast, was to keep it going. Yeah. And I'm so incredibly grateful to her and but we had a Thursday group that met. And so when she was done with the podcast, she ended the support group too. And I'm in one with Cheryl Crow from RA Life Hack.
Yep.
Not RA Life Hacks.
Yep.
Blah. You know what I mean?
She does RA Life Hacks.
She does. But RA
I
Life Hacks
love
is a
her.
separate person. But yeah, so Sheryl Crow, not the famous singer, but the famous one in RA.
She's famous in our world, I think. Like I
Exactly.
think I would probably get very nervous if I were to run into her
My
because
daughter met her.
I know, and I was a little jealous.
I was a lot jealous. And
Like
my very,
she,
very shy daughter ran up and gave her a hug and got a picture with her.
ah, so okay, we'll have to live through your daughter
Live
experience.
vicariously through her. And then, so those are the two that I've done. And I'm still in the one with Sheryl right now. But on top of that, I think you've came to it before. My friend Megan, we do the mindset support group,
Yes,
and it's really just kind of helping us get out of that negativity that we can get
yeah.
stuck in so easily.
I
And
gotta get.
that's why we started it.
Yeah, I got to get on there with you guys. I need to, this week, I wasn't feeling good, but like there's other weeks that I've wanted to, but my anxiety's gotten the best of me. Like,
And it's easy to do. It's easy to do. And you're not alone. I want you to remember that because I have severe anxiety and I don't think people realize that. And so like when I'm interviewing new guests, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm like sweating bullets.
I get nervous doing it. And when it's just us, like I get a little anxious like that.
Well, we have a camera on and it makes nerve wracking. Like if it was just, we just need to pretend it's FaceTime.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So we could easily stay on tip 2 forever, I'm sure.
Yes. But support group, they need that. So
absolutely. If you're new into this world, find a support group. Yes. And I'm going to tell you, I've talked to many people that have said they have tried multiple support groups because sometimes you find out one is way too big and
you got to find the right one.
And for anyone that wants to join our mindset support group, I mean, really, we at most have 6 people. Yeah. It varies. Some people can't come every single month. And so it just varies, which I don't mind the fact that it's a small group, but at the same time, I'm welcome to more people. I think it's good for you and I to get out of our anxiety pocket.
Yes. And I'm trying.
We're a work in progress.
Yes.
Okay. So tip number 3, practice stress reduction techniques. So tip number 3 focuses on those practical ways to manage stress. Incorporate stress reduction techniques into your daily routine. Techniques like deep breathing, meditation, yoga, and mindfulness can help calm your mind and relax your body. So stress reduction can also have a positive impact on your physical symptoms, making it an essential part of managing rheumatoid arthritis. All right. Do you feel like you're good at doing tip number 3?
Sometimes.
Depends on the day, right?
Yep. And you know what, though? What's so bad about that is I know how much this stuff helps. Like I do the deep breathing a lot. My trainer, Liz, taught me how, and sometimes I'll go back to those breathing videos she has sent me just to refresh and make sure I'm doing it. That is a huge help to me. I'm sure you've had if you just do yoga, you'll help and you'll feel better. We've all gotten that. If you have RA or any autoimmune, people are going to tell you need to do yoga. But I will tell you, yoga has been a very big stress reliever for myself. And being in pain, I haven't been able to do it as much. But that is truly relaxing for me, a relaxing exercise, but it gets my joints moving too.
Well, and that's the thing that I think people need to understand is, first of all, be careful when you're giving people advice and don't say things like, have you tried yoga?
Yes.
Or I had a friend tell me to juice with her. I mean,
yep. Drink apple cider vinegar. Take a scoop of that or drink a shot of that every day. You're going to feel better.
And I think, I know, I think some of these things can kind of help some of the symptoms, but they are not a cure. Yes. And I think sometimes when people give this advice, they make it sound like that it's this all-knowing cure, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
And so I love yoga also, but I can't always do it. And it's definitely, I see how I'm doing. But lately I've noticed that if I do a little bit of yoga in the morning or the evening, it helps loosen me up after I've gotten up in the morning, and it helps loosen me up again before I go lay down.
Exactly.
And it's also finding out how to adapt and change the movements and make them work for us, because you got to fine tune it. Sometimes you don't want to hurt yourself, and
Exactly.
especially if anyone out there is hypermobile, you can
Yes.
easily hurt yourself if you're hypermobile and trying to do yoga. My daughter is hypermobile,
Yeah.
and so I took her to a yoga class with me once before she found out she was hypermobile, and we couldn't figure out why she was hurting so bad. Well, duh.
Yeah. Because of the positions I did hot yoga. I loved hot yoga, but there were some movements there that I paid for later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so crazy how people forget that we have an autoimmune disease and that these things are not going to heal us.
No, they're not. They might help symptoms. Like I said, they might help symptoms depending on
Yes.
your whole background. I mean, we need to look at everyone as a whole.
Yeah.
Just like we want a doctor to look at everyone as a whole. Be careful when you're giving advice to people, because you're not a professional, you're not a doctor,
Yes.
and also you might not know their entire story.
Exactly.
So,
but I do think we need to put, we need to get out there that you've got to prioritize self-care, having a chronic illness, because it really does. Stress is a big trigger for a lot of us, because that affects your whole body. And by doing some of these things, it will calm your disease down a little bit so you can actually live.
Calling all Spoonies. As a host of a chronic illness podcast, nothing lights up my day more than hearing from you, our incredible listeners. Whether it's a topic close to your heart that you want us to uncover, or you are keen to show your own journey as a guest on our show, your voice matters. Living with chronic illness can often feel isolating, but through the power of podcasting, we can come together as a community to uplift, educate, and inspire one another. Your stories, insights, and questions drive the conversations we have and the topics we explore. So if there's something on your mind, a story that you are just itching to share, or a guest you'd love to hear from, don't hesitate to reach out. Your voice is not only welcomed here, but celebrated. Let's continue to amplify the voices of those living with chronic illnesses and create a space where everyone feels heard, supported, and empowered. Together, we are stronger. And as you get to know your body better, because ironically, when you get diagnosed with something like this, you get to know your body better.
Yeah.
And as you get to know it better, you get to know what triggers are. So you might have, a healthy diet, but maybe there's a particular food that you eat that causes you to get more inflamed, or maybe you're allergic to it, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful about that. Or maybe you're hypermobile, so you can't do yoga and you've got to find something else. Or you're hypermobile and you still want to do yoga, but maybe you're doing it a little more gently and not stretching as far, or you completely do not do some of the movements.
Is the Serendipity app, don't they have some modification of exercises on there? I thought there was some sitting. So for people that can't stand a lot, I feel like there's some sitting exercises in there for people. So I just want to put that out there. The Serendipity app is amazing and worth it. And that is one thing I found on there, is their exercises really help.
Yes. And since you mentioned them, I will say, this is not an ad. We are not forcing you.
No. I'm just love this app.
But we both love it. When you open it up, what I love about it is you can have your daily affirmation, and it even pops up with a notification on my phone for my daily affirmation. What I personally love to do is all week long, I will leave that notification. So I have my affirmations stacking up.
Oh, what a good idea.
Yeah. And so then when you open the app, you go into it and you see the affirmation again. You see, I keep wanting to call it menu, recipes. Yes. They have a whole section for recipes. They have a section for like a community chat type of thing where you can bring up topics and questions that you want to ask people, or you can jump on with what other people have said. They have some mindfulness stuff. My friend Angelique, she's amazing. I love listening to her.
Yes.
Yeah,
I love it. I feel
love
like the app goes along with this tip, like
yes,
really well.
yes,
Like
100%. And I think for me personally, I find it super helpful and affordable. It's not overly pricey.
exactly.
I do have a coupon code that they gave to us. I'm pretty sure it's Spoonie Sister or Spoonie Sister 1. It depends on, so there's two ways of signing up. You can sign up for a monthly or a yearly. And so one code works for monthly, one code works for yearly. I think it's Spoonie Sister for monthly and Spoonie Sister 1 for yearly. And so I think it's like $7.99 a month if you do the monthly with the discount. Or maybe that's before the discount. I don't know. But
it's worth it. Like it's one of those apps that I think it's great to have, and it goes perfect with our tips.
Yeah. It's got videos for working out and flare friendly. That's what I love about it. One of our friends, moved to Liv. She does flare friendly exercises, which are amazing.
That might be the ones I was thinking of.
Probably. And then Megan does all the flare friendly too. I know there's people that do like exercises from a seated position too.
Yes.
I mean, there's, oh my gosh. I could go on.
There's something for everybody.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys get it by now. We love our serendipity.
Yeah. But it's the self-care or the, and the stress release. Like it's got a lot of, it really goes along with the tips, the last few tips we've talked about.
And the woman that created it, she is amazing. She is also a fellow Spoonie sister, and that's why she created it. So I think that's amazing.
Yes.
Let's see. Was that already tip 4? Wow.
Did we kind of just go into tip 4? I think we.
Maybe not. Oh, maybe not.
You know what we did? I kind of brought it up for the stress reduction, and it kind of goes along with our next tip.
Yes, they definitely do go well together. Okay, so here we are, tip 4. We already kind of talked about it, but that's okay. Tip 4 is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Oh, really? That's the tip?
Yeah, it's blah, blah, blah. Prioritize self-care. So self-care is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Say that again with me. Self-care is a necessity, people, especially when living with a chronic illness like rheumatoid arthritis or any other chronic illness. So tip 4 is all about prioritizing your self-care. Make sure to get enough rest, maintain a healthy diet, and engage in activities that bring you joy. By taking care of your physical and emotional well-being, you'll be better equipped to handle the challenges that come your way. And I could not agree with that anymore.
I'm right there with you. Like, it's so important. And I know there are people, because I know I've been there, where you're going, that is so selfish of me to take that time. Like I should be doing XYZ for somebody, but you have to learn that it's okay to give yourself that self-care and make it a necessity in your life, because it truly is a benefit to you and your disease when you do those self-care. Soaking your feet in Epsom salt, having your daughter do your nails, go for a walk in nature, just do something to take care of you and, self-care. And
absolutely. Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're sharing examples, because I think everyone needs to remember that self-care isn't important, but we always do look at it like a luxury. But there's so many options of self-care that are just taking care of yourself. And at the end of the day, even if you're say you're a mom, okay? Yes, you've got a crazy busy life. Maybe you even work full-time too. Crazy busy life. But you have to take care of yourself. So that might mean an extra 5 minutes in the shower. That might mean an evening bath soak. My sister-in-law, I think it's amazing. She takes a bath every single night once their son goes down to bed. And I think that's a
That's good.
wonderful
I'm
way.
so glad she does that
It's a
as a
great way to
mom.
pamper
Yeah.
yourself.
Yes.
I think sometimes she even takes champagne in there. I mean, she knows how to do
Go
it well.
for it, girl.
Candles, the whole shebang, chocolate.
Oh,
Go
okay.
big or go home.
I want that spa. I want to go to that spa.
It's just a regular bathtub, but
I
I mean,
know, but
you might as well go big or go home.
yeah, I love it.
But it could be anything. It could
Yeah,
be,
it's
okay,
simple. It could be
here's my
5 minutes.
example today. I had a lot going on today. I was, interviewed for another podcast today of a fellow friend, meeting with you, computer work, all the things. But I finally looked at the clock at one point and I was like, wow, like, have I even walked around at all today? I've been sitting at my computer most of the day. This is
Did you
not good.
eat?
I did eat. I did eat.
Okay, good.
But I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to pause what I'm doing and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go for a walk around the block.
Yeah.
And then I got out there and I'm like, no, I don't do more than a block. I need more than that. So I walked down, like, to partly down towards the other side of my neighborhood and walked like past the park and around and
Yeah.
and then back down on the road behind my house and did a loop. So I walked for 15 minutes and I think I needed that. I needed to get up
Yep.
and stretch because I was starting to get stiff and sore. And so prioritizing yourself can look like anything. You just need to figure
Exactly.
out what you need and figure out how to incorporate it into your schedule.
Yeah, exactly. You can have as little as 5 minutes. Yeah, I wanted in on the action.
Yeah.
But even just as little as 5 minutes a day, just to take a deep breath and just center yourself, because you can't run on fumes.
Exactly. 5
Especially
minutes
with a chronic illness.
5 minutes to refill your pill case and take your
Yep.
meds and
Yep.
maybe have some avocado toast and some tea, whatever it is you need and whatever
Yes.
fancies you.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. All right. Let's move on to tip number 5. Communicate with your healthcare team. Ooh, that one's a biggie.
Yes, it is.
So tip number 5 emphasizes the importance to open and honest communication with your healthcare team. Your medical professionals are there to support you. So don't hesitate to discuss your stress and your concerns with them. They can help adjust your treatment plan or recommend additional resources to better manage your rheumatoid arthritis and stress. So I don't know about you, but tip number 5 is pretty big.
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Yep.
With tip number 5, most of us now, I think, have the online charts available to us by now.
Yes. Yes.
And I think that is extremely important. And so it's worth utilizing. If for some reason, maybe you were put on a biologic last month and they said, okay, let me know how you're feeling. Like if you're getting any improvement. I mean, typically some of these might not show improvement for 3 months or so, but maybe they did ask, or maybe it has already been 3 months. And so if for some reason you're feeling like it's not working, or maybe you're just having a new pain, I don't know, whatever it is, but you can get in your chart and message them. It's super important because
yes, I agree. And it's super important to be comfortable with your healthcare providers. You need to be able to be open and honest with them. You can't have a doctor that you don't feel like you can, really tell them everything. Because I've had doctors like that and also maybe it's sometimes I just felt like I was complaining too much, but you have to be honest. Every symptom, every pain, every ache, you have to share that because that gives them the information to help you. And you have to find doctors that you trust. That's a big thing.
It is a big thing. And here's the thing. If you have a good doctor, they truly want to know this information because they're trying to find the right treatment plan for you.
And if you don't share everything, they can't find it. There are going to be a lot of misses.
Now, a few episodes back, I don't know if you caught this one, but there's a fellow Spoonie sister that she not only has rheumatoid arthritis, but she is actually a juvenile rheumatoid arthritis doctor. I worded that so badly.
Yeah,
So badly.
yeah, I know what you mean though.
And I think if I remember correctly, I think she might have mentioned that she was kind of in like a delusional moment that something was even wrong with her.
Yep.
And what I think is a good thing is that she finally went to someone in her practice and said, okay, something's off.
Yeah.
And so I asked her some important questions, and I said, okay, how do people know when the medicine's not working and when to move on to the next one? And so if you guys didn't hear that episode, I definitely encourage you to hear it.
Yeah,
because
I guess I've missed that one. I will definitely have to go
it's
listen.
some really helpful information. And it's not just for rheumatoid arthritis people, it's for anybody on their medications. Their goal is to get you in medical remission, to find the right combination for you. And they have a way of going through these different medications to get you there, and then they have a time limit that they have. And if they're seeing like 5% improvement, that's not good enough. They want better.
They want, and they'll increase you to see if it will improve.
And honestly, talking to her made everything from my last 10 years make more sense. Because my rheumatologist, when she added biologics for me, she started me on Orencia. And I mean, there was a little bit of improvement, but not a lot. And so after, I don't know, 4 or 6 months or so, she was like, I think we can do better. And I never asked questions before. I ask all the questions now, but before I was just okay, that's what you want me on. Okay. And that's what I always did. And so it was nice to hear like what they usually and typically look for and want.
I actually, looking back, I think I was in medical remission for a little bit, but then the medicine stopped working, which happens.
Oh gosh.
But find good doctors. You have to have good doctors. It's
absolutely.
So
well, and
I think that needs to be a topic all by itself.
Definitely. And if any of you are familiar with this app, and they're also on Instagram, I don't know about Facebook or anything, but I know they're on Instagram. They pronounce it HELP, but it's spelled like it's HEALP. It's HEALP. And you can actually go in there to chat with people and get to know people that have similar struggles as you do health-wise. But there's also a section in there where you can recommend good doctors, which is amazing.
Yes.
And so the whole point of that is to help people not go through some of the junk that some people have gone through, and to help you find somebody that is actually going to be a great doctor and really listen to you and take you seriously.
It's so important.
So one thing I was going to bring up is I was in medical remission as well.
Yeah.
But now I understand better why I was taken off of it. Because at the time I was like, whatever. My white blood count, I guess, kept dropping, and she was heavily concerned. Well, I kept getting sick constantly. It was like if somebody was to breathe next to me, somehow I caught an illness.
Yep. I was like that. Mine, I was starting to get, my body was like rejecting it, like allergic. Like I had severe blood pressure issues with it. And it made me mad because I was finally feeling good.
That's scary.
I go every day.
But I still have hope that, that you're going to find that and get there.
We'll get there.
So there you have it. 5 tips to help you handle rheumatoid arthritis and stress. Remember, you are not alone in this journey, and there are resources and support available to you. We hope that these tips will make a positive difference in your life, and I will hopefully remember to add every single one of these things that we talked about to the show notes. Thank you for tuning in to My Spoonie Sisters. If you found this episode helpful, please consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from the information. Stay strong, stay resilient, keep fighting against your challenges, and until next time, don't forget your spoon. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast are for general information only. Consult your own physician for any medical issues that you may be having. The information should not be taken as a replacement for medical, clinical, professional advice, diagnoses, or medical intervention. My Spoonie sisters and guests will not be held liable for any of the consequences of such action or inaction. Trigger warning. Some episodes may cover sensitive topics including, but not limited to, suicide, abuse, mental illness, and chronic disease. You are advised to refrain from listening if you are likely to be offended or adversely impacted by any of these topics. None of the guests or hosts will be responsible for your use of the information contained therein. Life is not merely to be alive, but to be well. Living a life with a chronic illness is best described with one word: unpredictable. Be Well's products are designed to make the unpredictable easier to deal with. Back when I was getting my infusions, I would have loved to have their adult zip hoodie. They even have one in pink. They also have everything from one-day pill holders to urgency buckets. So remember, they want to make your life a little easier. So be sure to check out Be Well.